A legion composed of 3 billion other shore realms is enough to sweep through in this era. Lin Moyu's eyes were cold as he looked towards the distant starry sky, which was the direction of the demon clan. You don't have much time. Now is not the time to touch the demon clan. Lin Moyu didn't even want to hunt down those who were fleeing. I have just completed enlightenment, and the power of enlightenment still remains in my body. If you kill the demons now, it will affect the effect of the next consciousness. In the state of enlightenment, the speed of cultivation will be greatly accelerated. Now he wants to sublimate the law into the power of rules, which will take a lot of time. He needs enlightenment to save this time. Therefore, in his plan to get rid of the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle Clan, he had to wait a little longer. In his eyes, these two tribes have become tool men who can be destroyed at any time if he wants. If that's the case, then why don't you think of ways to get the most benefit for yourself? In the sword world, Lin Mohan's world of rules is taking shape. An extremely terrifying sword of rules, shrouded in layers of black light. Just one look at it was enough to make the god's Taoist heart collapse. This sword is called the Sword of Destruction and has the power to destroy the world. The entire sword world was trembling. The sword intention in the sword world was sucked away by the world-destroying sword and became the nutrients for the growth of the world-destroying sword. There are countless swords in the sword world, ranging from the Saint Realm to the Supreme Realm. Now these swords are trembling. They flew up at the same time and saluted towards the world-destroying sword, as if they were meeting the king. Even the heaven and earth sword couldn't hold on. It flew out automatically, keeping a certain distance from the world-destroying sword. The heaven and earth sword was once the magic weapon of Tianzuan and the inherited sword of the heaven and earth sword sect. What kind of world has I never seen before? It can be seen that when the sword of world destruction was seen, the heaven and earth sword was completely out of control. It was far away, and a small figure appeared on the sword. The little man is only the size of a palm and looks like a 3-year-old child. It is the sword spirit of the heaven and earth sword. When it looks at the sword of destruction, its eyes are filled with fear. My dear, this master's sword is too terrifying. Compared to the world-destroying sword, it felt that Lin Mohan was not the one who was truly terrifying. After all, this is the owner of the world-destroying sword, a truly terrifying existence. The world-destroying sword was about to be completely formed. Lin Mohan took the rule of Godstone. At this time, 1/3 of the rule of Godstone was missing. At the beginning of building the world of rules, Lin Mohan has been absorbing the power of the rules stone. Now that the rules world has reached the final step of taking shape, it also needs the rules Godstone to promote it. The rule Godstone comes from Tianzun's rule world and contains a lot of power belonging to Tianzun. Absorbing the rule Godstone is equivalent to absorbing the power of Tianzuan. Tianzuan's power contains the power of reality and reality, which is also the most important step in completing the world-destroying sword. The divine stone of rules was thrown up and thrown into the sword of destruction. The world-destroying sword made a buzzing sound, then gradually faded and disappeared from sight. A few seconds later, the world-destroying sword emerged again, seemingly stronger than before. Between the changes of light and darkness, emptiness and reality, the world-destroying sword has the power of emptiness and reality, and becomes stronger and stronger. The sword spirit of the heaven and earth sword widened his eyes at this moment. The new master is so powerful. In the realm of the Holy Lord, I have the power of virtuality and reality, which is even more powerful than those of the supreme beings at that time. No wonder the master looks down on the inheritance of the heaven and earth sword sect. The master's own inheritance is even more powerful. But the heaven and earth sword sect has inherited the strongest swordsmanship in this world. Doesn't the master's inheritance belong to this world? The spirit of heaven and earth sword knows many things. After all, it has existed since ancient times. Since then, he has been in the sword world and has no idea what is happening outside. But he is very sure that the heaven and earth sword sect is the strongest swordsman inheritance in the past. Slightly weaker than the heaven and earth sword sect is the soul sword sect. But no matter what kind of swordsmanship inheritance, it is not as good as Lin Mohan's world-destroying sword. After thinking about it in its little head, it felt that there was only one possibility: Lin Mohan's inheritance did not come from the big world. The world-destroying sword absorbed the power of the divine stone of rules during the changes in reality and reality. It became more and more powerful, and the terrible pressure swept across the sword world, turning into countless sword energy, almost tearing the sword world to pieces. The sword world continued to roar, and countless ancient formations were activated and began to operate to protect the existence of the sword world. The Heaven and Earth sword also flew into the air and landed where it originally belonged, the formation. As the inherited sword of the Heaven and Earth sword sect, naturally we cannot watch the Heaven realm be destroyed. But it doesn't know whether it can block the power of the world-destroying sword. Among the demon clan, several saints were listless. This battle was defeated, and the defeat was very complete. The alliance of hundreds of races collapsed, and the Abyss Demon Lord died. They fled back like bereaved dogs. If they didn't leave, they would also die. The fighting power of the human race's holy lord far exceeded their imagination. They feel that the human race has become strange, and the power of the human race has cast a shadow in their hearts. Not only the front line was defeated, but the new homeland was also defeated. The Eagle King escaped, the Demon Lord's clone was forced to self-destruct, and his new home was torn into pieces by the undead army. Many races perished, and only a few escaped and became homeless. It is no longer possible to go outside the territory, and the border area is blocked. Those guys will eventually die under the butcher knife of the human race. The flames rose, and a demonic face appeared. "You guys come to me." The voice of the Demon Lord sounded, and several saints immediately stood up and flew towards the place where the Demon Lord was. They entered the real core of the Demon Clan, where two groups of flames were burning. A ball of flame is red, which is the destruction of hell. The other group is dark green, which is the fire of the abyss. Demons are divided into two factions, namely the Hell type and the Demon type. Their origins come from the fire of hell and the destruction of the abyss. They continued to move forward along the guidance of the flame, and the two flames began to come closer and merge, eventually forming the Black Devil's fire. Demonic fire is the original fire of the demonic clan. There used to be a supreme in the demonic clan who controlled the demonic fire. As a half-step supreme demon lord, he also controls demonic fire. Several saints entered the demon lord's world, which was a world composed purely of demonic fire. Normally, they were not qualified to enter. Inside the world, there is a huge space, and a small demon sits there, motionless. This demon is dead and lifeless. Several saints came to the devil, knelt down respectfully towards the devil, and shouted in unison, "Greetings, sir." Flames rose from the demon's corpse. The originally dead demon suddenly raised its head and started to move again. It was not resurrected, but someone manipulated his body and made him move. "Follow me." The demon lord turned around and walked towards the sea of fire. He didn't walk very fast, one step after another, as if he was still getting used to this body. The sea of fire automatically fracked from it, and a scorched road appeared. Several saints looked puzzled. They had never been here before. They followed the demon lord all the way forward. After walking for a long time, they finally saw an altar. The altar was originally hidden in the sea of fire, but now its true appearance is revealed when the sea of fire separates. The demon lord said, "Each of you, select 100,000 tribesmen and bring them back here to send you away." A huge team is rushing towards the junction. Thousands of people from the Golden Eagle tribe were led by the Eagle King's avatar. There were more than 20 people from the other shore realm and tens of thousands of gods in the team. The remaining god kings are also the elites of the Golden Eagle clan, and they are all first-level geniuses in the clan. They rush towards the borderland, like a sharp arrow, trying to penetrate the borderland. The junction area has been blocked by Tianlong, and countless starry sky beasts have formed a large net under Tianlong's order. The number of starry sky beasts in the border area is countless, and this big net is difficult to break through. But no matter how difficult it is, the Golden Eagle clan will still rush forward to determine the life and death of the race. There is no holy lord in the Golden Eagle clan, and there is a gap in strength. When the human army arrives, it will be the time when the Golden Eagle tribe will be exterminated. The Eagle King knew this very well and must leave the fire. Maybe there will be hope in the future. The Golden Eagle clan and the Demon clan are doing almost the same thing. They are both making final preparations for the reproduction of their 143 race. Close to the human race's Schwanwu starfield, space began to distort. The distortion reached its extreme in an instant, and the space folded. Then a space door appeared, and Lin Moyu rushed out of the space door, vibrating the wings of the undead. Lin Moyu gave it a try. With his current ability, he can use the space gate to span up to 10,000 light years. The whole process takes about 10 seconds. Compared to Luo Xin's ability to easily cross millions of light years, the difference is still very far. Luo Xin has completely promoted the laws of space to rules, and can freely manipulate and change space, which is currently beyond the reach of Lin Moyu. After trying several times, Lin Moyu gradually mastered the door of space, and his accuracy also improved. Combined with the star map, the error range of the space gate will not exceed tens of billions of kilometers. Complete control of the laws of space made him much faster. Without opening the door to space or using the law of time, each step can reach 200 million kilometers. If the law of time is used, for him, the flow of time can be 4 times slower. 1 second can be used as 4 seconds, and the calendar of time and space can also quadruple the effect of the law of space. As a result, his ultimate speed has reached 3.2 billion kilometers per second. This speed has reached the level of the Holy Lord, surpassing all other shores. Even the other side of the Golden Eagle clan cannot achieve this speed. If the own speed is matched with the space gate, the error of tens of billions of kilometers is only a matter of seconds. What's more, you can also draw brighter runes. The 3 light runes can no longer keep up with the rhythm. Lin Moyu feels that he can draw stronger time and space runes to obtain a stronger amplification effect. Speed is only one aspect. Both the law of space and the law of time have extremely strong attack history. After their fusion, the power of time and space and their attack power are even more amazing. After Lin Moyu tried it several times, he was very satisfied with the effect. The 2 powers can be used directly, or corresponding spells can be researched, or corresponding runes can be drawn to make the power stronger. But this all takes time, so there is no rush at the moment. The power of time and space flows, Lin Moyu's every step is 3.2 billion kilometers, and he has entered the Xuanwu star territory in just a few seconds. Renhuang Network sensed Lin Moyu immediately and said directly in Lin Moyu's ear, "You are back." Lin Moyu nodded slightly, "Where are the saints?" The Human Emperor Network said, Tian Xingzun, Hao Xingzun, Fu Xingzun have returned to the City of God, Sword Saint has gone to the military, War Saint has returned to the War Temple, and killed the Saint. The war has come to an end for the time being, and the next heavy saints only need to sit in the Divine City and issue orders. Lin Moyu said, "Where is my sister?" The Human Emperor Network said, Lin Mohan is in the Sword World. She is building a world of rules and preparing to be promoted to a saint. I can't sense what's going on in the Sword Realm, but the aura of the regular world comes out of the Sword Realm. Lin Mohan shouldn't be heavy. Lin Moyu naturally knows what's going on with his elder sister. With blood resonance, Lin Mohan's own cultivation talent bonus, and the assistance of the Rules Divine Stone, it is a matter of course to build a rules world and be promoted to a saint. Lin Moyu was not worried about Lin Mohan at all and said, "Then I will go back to the City of God." The Human Emperor Network only arranges customs passes and battleships for you. Lin Moyu's current authority is the same as that of the Holy Lord. He can go to the Divine City at any time when the port star is opened once a month. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "No, I'll go back by myself." He shook the wings of the undead, and the laws of space emerged from the wings of the undead, and the space in front of him suddenly became distorted. Through the laws of space, he sensed the location in space 10,000 light-years away. Then the space was folded, and the space in front of him was connected to the space 10,000 light-years away. A door to space appeared in front of Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu shook the interpretation of the undead and rushed into the door of space. Just a few seconds later, he appeared in the starry sky 10,000 light-years away. At this time, he had entered the hinterland of the human race, and wings of the undead followed suit and continued to advance towards the Divine City Star territory. After Lin Moyu left, the voice of Human Emperor Network sounded in the starry sky. The gate to space is indeed more convenient than teleportation. Lin Moyu activated the space gate continuously, and a few minutes later, he had entered the Divine City Star territory. Then he shortened the transmission distance of the space gate and headed towards the Divine City. In the central hall of the Divine City, Saint Tian, Saint Hao, and Saint Fu were sitting together, discussing what to do next. Lin Moyu has already told them the big framework, and Lin Moyu will not interfere with the specific details. Xiao Wu is not here. She is riding a calf to play in the Divine City. If someone is watching, nothing will happen. Tian Xingzuan said calmly, according to the current speed, in about 50 years, all the galaxies in the Alliance of 100 Races will be returned to the human race. At that time, the amount of resources our human race will have. He suddenly stopped mid-sentence and looked outside the hall. A figure appeared outside the hall. Lin Moyu was walking step by step. His speed seemed slow but was actually fast. After only a few steps, he had already arrived in front of the three holy lords. The three saints felt the aura belonging to the other side of Lin Moyu's body, and their eyes showed shock. In just a short time, Lin Moyu has reached the realm of the other shore from the 5th level of deity. Lin Moyu's cultivation speed is indeed fast, but it's not that fast. They felt that after Lin Moyu reached the divine realm, his cultivation speed not only did not slow down, but became faster and faster. During the war, I was at the 5th level of the Divine Lord, and I reached the other side in one breath. 3.5. The speed of cultivation is faster than the speed of light. After being shocked, Saint Hao laughed loudly. Congratulations, little friend Lin, for being promoted to the other side realm. Tian Xingzuan also said, congratulations to Xiao Yu Lin, your strength has greatly increased. Fu Xingzuan's eyes sparkled, congratulations, Master Lin. Lin Moyu's promotion to the other side realm has a very different meaning. In the other shore realm, you can use the power of rules and draw ancient symbols. With Lin Moyu's attainments in runes, he will surely be able to quickly master the method of drawing ancient runes. Coupled with Lin Moyu's own magic, the undead army, its combat power can no longer be measured by realm. Lin Moyu smiled and said, the three seniors have been very busy recently. Tian Xingzuan immediately said, it's just a matter of words. Anyway, Lin Xiaoyu has already formulated the big framework, and we are just doing the details in it. Fu Xingzuan said, we are collecting resources, but there are too many galaxies, and it will take time. Fu Xingzuan recounted the recent actions of the human race. Lin Moyu listened carefully and found out that they were indeed carried out according to his own plan. There may be some minor discrepancies, but they are innocuous. The people from the alliance of hundreds of clans have already fled, hiding in some dark corner and shivering. The human race is now concentrating on collecting resources and is not hunting them down. Lin Moyu said that there is no rush in this matter, and gathering resources is the most important thing. Lin Moyu asked, what about the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle Clan? Is there any action? Fu Xingzuan said, there is no movement from the Demon Clan. They have contracted part of the star field and strengthened their defense. The Golden Eagle tribe did take action. One of their teams rushed into the border area. We have no way of knowing what happened in the border area. Lin Moyu raised his lips slightly. The Golden Eagle Clan is pretty much what I thought. If they want to keep the fire, they can only leave and go outside the territory. The border area is blocked. Whether they can break out depends on luck. Saint Hao said, this time the Golden Eagle clan is led by the Eagle Emperor's clone. I'm afraid it won't be easy for Tianlong to stop them. Lin Moyu smiled, if you really want to stop it, then 11 can definitely stop it. It's just that Tianlong also has restrictions. He can't interfere too much in matters in the big world. It's okay. Even if you escape, you are just a small fish and shrimp. You will be caught sooner or later. The outside world is not a good place, and there are many dangers inside. If you are not lucky, the whole clan will be destroyed. Even if some of them survive by chance, it doesn't matter, it has no impact on major events. However, there was no movement from the demon clan, which was unexpected. Lin Moyu pondered for a few seconds. With the demon lord's temperament, the demon clan will definitely take action. They may have some backups to go outside the territory. Xingzu and Fu, please closely monitor the demon clan through the Shimu ancestral tree to see what's going on. Fu Xingzuan said, I have already been stared at. The information sent back from the Shimu ancestral tree was too complicated, and both useful and useless information was sent over. Xingzu and Fu arranged a lot of people to deal with this matter. When all the resource planets gather, it will be time for the human race to take up arms again. The Demon Clan, the Golden Eagle Clan, the Black Blood Realm, and those fish that slipped through the net. No one from the human race will be spared, and they must all be cleaned up. The real big sweep has not yet begun. Lin Moyu is not in a hurry, and will do it bit by bit. After all the domains are cleared and the cause and effect are completely cut off in the big world, preparations will begin to welcome the arrival of the Dojie. For the big world, this is a real disaster. If it fails, the whole big world will be destroyed. Any alliance of hundreds of races can only be regarded as childish in front of the fighting interface. Several people discussed for a while and made the next plan. The general framework remains unchanged, but some details have been changed and are still left to a few saints to handle. As a planner, Lin Moyu became a single-handed shopkeeper. In the core of the Divine City, where the Lost RC is, Xing Lao is sitting there fishing. With a fishing rod without a hook, I don't know what I caught for countless years. Maybe it's just a state of mind, something in one's thoughts. Lin Moyu came here and quietly watched Xing Lao fishing without saying a word. He did not disturb Mr. Xing, and the two of them remained extremely quiet. After a long time, Xing Lao put away his fishing rod and said to Lin Moyu, little guy, congratulations on reaching the other shore. It seems that the Holy Lord is not far away. There was a bit of ridicule in his tone, as if he was sincerely congratulating you, but also seemed to be joking. Lin Moyu didn't care. Xing Lao, I have something to tell you. Seeing that Lin Moyu was a little serious, Mr. Xing also stopped smiling and asked, what's the matter? Lin Moyu shouted, thick. After the words fell, the human emperor's projection appeared next to the two of them. The human emperor said nothing and looked at Lin Moyu, which meant asking, why did you call me here? Lin Moyu said, I went to the ancestral land of the Bull Demon Clan before and learned some things. Behind the Bull Demon Clan, there is power from outside the world. I judge that power to come from the Buddha clan. Buddha. Xing Lao raised his eyebrows and his eyes sparkled. The human emperor remained calm, as if nothing could cause his mood to fluctuate. Xing Lao and Human Emperor both know the experience of the emergence of the Buddha clan, and also know that they actually come from other worlds. The purpose of coming here is self-evident. It is for the big world. To be precise, it is for the origin of the world of the big world. Lin Moyu told the story of how the Buddhists killed the Orang Yo saint and added some of his own guesses and judgments. I think that since the Buddha clan wants to use the Orang Yo Holy Lord, it means that they want to come here, but there are many restrictions. This time, the Holy Orang Yo asked the Buddha for help. The Buddhas may have thought that there was no way to save the Holy Orang Yo, so they killed the Holy Orang Yo and left. It may also be that due to years of accumulation, the Orang Yo Xingzuan and the others have lost their use value, and they are no longer needed when the Buddha clan comes. Xing Lao said, all of the things you mentioned are possible, but in the final analysis, the Buddha clan will eventually come. It's really one wave after another. Before the matter in Dojia is resolved, the clan is coming again. Being able to kill the Orang Yo Holy Lord, even if some special means are used, shows that the strength of the Buddha clan is not bad. At least he is half-step to the supreme level. Human Emperor, what do you think? Renhuang Network closed his eyes. He quickly analyzed the data and got the answer quickly. From Lin Moyu's description, we can know that the person from the Buddhist clan should be Tianzuan, and only Tianzuan can promise the supreme position. Across an infinite distance, it is impossible to come from another world without loss. Tianzuan will definitely not. He should be the supreme. There is a high probability that he will be the pinnacle supreme. Only the supreme one is easy to deal with, but the peak supreme one is in a lot of trouble. Xing Lao sighed. There are internal and external troubles. Mr. Lin, what are you going to do? Lin Moyu said, the soldiers will come to block the water and cover it with soil. There is no point in worrying. According to what Holy Monk Nyo said, it will take a long time for them to arrive. There will be no danger for the time being. It will be more than 1,000 years before the Dojia comes. As long as we make good arrangements, it won't be impossible to deal with it. I plan to visit the ancient ruins. Mr. Xing hummed, the only solution for now is that there is only hope in the ancient ruins. Lin Moyu said, I haven't told these saints about this for the time being. I won't tell them until the cause and effect is settled in the domain. Old Xing said, that's true. There are some things that you shouldn't rush to talk about. We'll handle things one by one. There's not much the old man can do, so I can only rely on you. Lin Moyu was very humble. You owe the greatest contribution to the fact that the human race has been able to remain safe and rejuvenated for so many years. Xing Lao shook his head, laughed a few times, and said nothing. Lin Moyu said goodbye to Xing Lao and also left Xincheng. He is going to ancient ruins. Among the 6 most dangerous ancient ruins, there are 3 in the region, and one of them is in the Divine City Star region. This is also a plan made early in the morning. Perhaps a way to defeat the Dojia can be found in the ancient ruins. After all, there may be the remains of Tianzuan or the Supreme Being there. As soon as Lin Moyu left the City of God, the voice of Renhuang Network suddenly sounded, please follow me. The core area of the Human Emperor Network is like a huge core. For countless years, the Human Emperor Network has been exuding majestic power, spreading tens of thousands of light years, covering the entire human race. There used to be a large number of people practicing outside the core, but now there is no one there, and it seems a little deserted. Bianjing, like the gods, all went to work as porters. Under the guidance of the Human Emperor Network, Lin Moyu approached the core of the Human Emperor. Although they are cultivating and living in the other shore realm, they have always maintained a certain distance from the core of the Human Emperor Network. In fact, no one has ever truly touched the core of the Human Emperor Network. Lin Moyu was curious, what did Renhuang Network ask me to do? Following the guidance given by the Human Emperor Network, a gap appeared in the core, like a passage. Lin Moyu flew in, followed the passage, and reached the inside of the Emperor of Heaven's network. There was a huge space inside. When he came here, Lin Moyu suddenly narrowed his eyes and saw some incredible things. In the space inside the core, there are pieces of equipment. These devices are very strange, flashing lights of different colors. The key is not these lights, but these devices, which are very similar to the computers in Lin Moyu's previous life. But if you look closely, you will see that it is fundamentally different from a computer. These devices obviously have the aura of law and are magic weapons refined by humans. How so? The power system of this world is completely different from the previous life, and there is no technology. The equipment formed a circle, with a light ball about 10 meters in diameter floating in the middle. The light ball was very bright, and there seemed to be countless runes flowing like fish inside. Lin Moyu recognized at a glance that these runes were ancient runes, and they were extremely powerful ancient runes. Only part of the ancient talisman has been damaged and is incomplete. The human emperor appeared in front of the light ball. What you see now is my true body. Let me introduce myself. I am the human emperor. I was once a member of the human race. My name at that time was Xiao Zhantian. Lin Moyu was stunned on the spot. Xiao Zhantian. The human emperor is actually Xiao Zhantian? He wondered if he had heard wrongly. How could the human emperor be Xiao Zhantian? Countless questions arose in his heart, and he looked at the emperor without blinking, hoping to get answers from him. The power of the human emperor surged to interfere with reality, and a tea table appeared in the space. A tea set appears on the tea table, and the tea set automatically starts brewing tea. The human emperor said, "Since I asked you to come here, I just want to tell you something. Don't be in a hurry, drink some tea and listen to me slowly." The two sat down, and Lin Moyu remained silent. After the tea was brewed and the human emperor took a sip, he said, "You don't have to doubt that Xiao Zhantian is me. At that time, I repelled all the tribes, and my strength reached the level of a half-step saint. I took the remaining strength of the human race to fight back. I know very well that if I don't do that, the human race will not be able to achieve real peace. Only by killing them all can the human race hope to gain some breathing time. Fortunately, my decision was correct. I killed one race after another, countless people, and became a being that every race is afraid of. I fought my way into the demon clan and fought a battle with the demon lord. Both of us were injured. The demon lord was severely injured, and I dragged my injured body to fight the eagle emperor. The Eagle King was also severely injured by me, but my injuries were more serious and the foundation was shaken. After a round of fighting, all races will die and escape. I will stop killing and return to the human race to take charge. As long as I am here, no one will dare to come again. The human race has taken a breather and begun to recuperate. I established the Temple of War, focusing on cultivating geniuses who are good at fighting, and integrating the secret techniques obtained from various races into secret techniques suitable for my human race. I have been like this for 20,000 years, and my injuries have finally stabilized, but it is unlikely that I will recover. Although the Demon Lord and Eagle Emperor were severely injured by me, they have not shaken their roots and must have recovered. Because my foundation was damaged, my lifespan was running out. At that time, the human race had not yet had a new half-step supreme. If I left, the tragedy would happen again. I thought of a way to refine the gods who have died in the human race over the years into Lost Stars to form the Lost Star Sea. Then, using the Lost Star Sea as the foundation and using my talent as the core, I gave birth to the spirit of the Star Sea, which is the star you see. Old. Speaking of this, Lin Moyu was completely stunned, and his heart was already shaking. The identity of Mr. Xing turned out to be like this. He was made by Xiao Zhantian himself. The human emperor continued, "Xing Lao didn't know about this, and I never told him, so you don't need to say anything. I regard Elder Xing as the new heritage of the human race and use it to protect the human race, but this alone may not be enough. My talent is gone, my combat power is greatly reduced, my foundation has been shaken again, and my longevity is even less." At that time, the human race still had a piece of the world seashell, so I left the big world and went to the world sea to look for opportunities. There are many dangers in the sea, but there are also many opportunities. Maybe I still have a chance. I went to Jihai again and again, and after searching for thousands of years, I finally found it. This is the set of things you see now, this set of technological magic weapons from an unknown world. 17. Yes, it is the magic weapon of science and technology. The route taken by that world is different from ours. In their world, cultivation and technology are integrated, forming a brand new cultivation system. Although I have never been in contact with that world, I know that it must be very strong. I brought this set of things back and integrated them into it. From then on, there will be no more Xiao Zhantian in the world, and the human race will have another human emperor network. The story of Xiao Zhantian was finally told, and Lin Moyu completely understood the origins of Emperor Kairen and Xing Zhe. Xiao Zhantian did not die, nor did he leave. He has always guarded the human race and never left. The name of the god of war is well deserved. Lin Moyu asked, "Why are you telling me this?" He knew that Elder Xing didn't know these secrets, and neither did the saints. He didn't understand why Qiu Huang told him these things. The human emperor drank tea and chuckled. "Actually, it's nothing. It's just that I've been hiding this matter in my heart for too many years, and I want to talk to someone about it. Others are not suitable, but you are very suitable. It's much easier if you say it out loud." Lin Moyu smiled. "Do you think I can protect the human race?" The human emperor shook his head. "If you are not a human race, I think you can protect the world." Lin Moyu smiled. "Lord God of War, Tao Siping overestimates me." The human emperor did not think so. There is no overestimation. From my perspective, I can accurately analyze the potential of everyone, including Tian Qingzuwen and others. Basically, there is nothing wrong. But I can't analyze you. And your sister, I can't analyze it either. You seem to be separated from the data. In other words, you are separated from the destiny. Only people like you have the chance to change the fate of the world. I tell you these things not to put pressure on you, but to let you know how unique you are. Strange? Maybe. Lin Moyu feels that he is indeed a bit strange. The human emperor continued, "The small world you were born in is very strange in itself." Lin Moyu asked, "Do you know a group of people who came out before me? About 1,000 years earlier than me." Human Emperor Network said, "I know that there were so many people coming out of the small world at that time, so I would naturally pay attention to them. The human race arranged a place for them at that time, but they disappeared. I don't know how they disappeared. In short, they just disappeared. I went to investigate and felt the history of time and space. The force is so strong that I have no ability to intervene." The human emperor, the former Xiao Zhantian, chatted a lot with Lin Moyu. From him, Lin Moyu felt his passion for the human race and his sincere heart to protect the human race. The era he lived in was the darkest era for humankind. At that time, the human race was almost finished. If it weren't for him, there would be no human race now. Later, the Temple of War and other human races inherited his will and worked hard for the revival of the human race. Xiao Zhantian also divided himself into two, based on the Law Galaxy, integrated his own talents, and evolved into Elder Xing. He himself integrated the magic weapon of science and technology and became the Human Emperor Network. It can be said that he gave everything for the human race and gave everything he had. The current prosperous age of the human race is as he wished, and all the efforts made have been in vain. He has saved the human race from danger and protected the human race for tens of thousands of years. He has completed his entire history. If it were not limited by the world, if he were born in ancient times, with Xiao Zhantian's talents, he would most likely be ranked among the heavenly lords. Regarding this, Lin 830 could only sigh silently, "What a pity." Time is also fate, and fate is like this. Lin Moyu left the human emperor core and thought about what Xiao Zhantian said. This world is full of magic. Xiao Zhantian entered the Boundary Sea again and saw many magical things. The World Sea was not safe, and Xiao Zhantian almost died several times. Outside the big world, there is a broader world, and what Xiao Zhantian saw was just a drop in the ocean. Lin Moyu had already had a premonition about this. He had only been to the Boundary Sea for 10 minutes and had already realized how small the big world was. There is also the small world in which I was born, which is equally strange. Thinking about it carefully, everything in it seems to have a sense of deliberateness. It seems that there is an invisible hand planning and controlling behind the scenes. Lin Moyu felt that he was too weak and not qualified to explore these issues. Facing the coming world of fighting and the lingering Buddhist clan, the human emperor sensed a crisis. In the words of the human emperor, there was a hint of helplessness from time to time. Perhaps due to his integration with technological magic weapons, his mood is stable and rarely fluctuates. But Lin Moyu can still feel his worries about the future. The reason why the Emperor told Lin Moyu this was mainly because he placed his hopes on Lin Moyu. Not only the hope of the human race, but also the hope of the world. He has been planning the human race for tens of thousands of years and has seen too many geniuses of all kinds. Lin Moyu is the only two people who are beyond his estimation, and the other one is Lin Mohan. The human emperor instinctively felt that if anyone could save the world, it would be Lin Moyu and his two siblings. Outside the star domain of the divine city, an ancient ruins floated there like mist. It looks like a little finger and is a legacy of the ancient talisman warriors created by the holy talisman Heavenly Lord. The ancient talisman warriors had completely collapsed by the end of the battle. Most of all the ancient talismans were annihilated, and a small number fell into the divine city star field, evolving into secret realms. Only this little finger was still intact, and it eventually became an extremely dangerous ancient relic. There are many ancient ruins, such as the inheritance place of Sword World and Yunwu sect, which is one of them. There is no danger in these ancient ruins, and the human race has been to everything they can. After tens of thousands of years of exploration, the human race finally defined the 6 ancient footprints as extremely dangerous. Even if the Holy Lord entered, his life would be in danger. The broken finger of the ancient talisman warrior outside the divine city star territory is one of them. The gate of time and space came out, Lin Moyu flew out, and then took 2 steps to the outside of the ancient ruins. Ancient ruins are usually restricted areas and no one is allowed to enter. Formations surround it and are controlled by the Human Emperor Network. Only with the permission of the Human Emperor Network can one enter. In the past 1,000 years, Tian Xingzuan has only gone in once, but he didn't gain anything, and he also suffered some injuries. When Lin Moyu arrived, the formation automatically opened the passage for him, as if to respectfully allow him to enter. Lin Moyu stood outside the ruins, feeling the atmosphere of the ruins with his heart. This ruin has a name, it's called the Fingertip Ruins. The Fingertip Ruins were shrouded in mist. The mist looked thin, but no matter what method was used, it was impossible to see the internal situation. The Fingertip Ruins are very large, reaching 70 light-years in length from top to bottom and 10 light-years in width. From Lin Moyu's position, there is no end in sight. According to calculations, the height of the ancient talisman warrior exceeds 1,500 light-years, and one slap is enough to destroy many galaxies. In the eyes of many people, this is an incredible existence. Lin Moyu once thought so too. After receiving the inheritance from the holy talisman Tianzuan, he knew the origin of the ancient formation War King. Its hugeness is not so big from the beginning. Holy talisman Tianzuan used space talisman arrays, not just one, but many space talisman arrays. The space talisman array was used to expand its shape and at the same time enhance its power. In fact, when Holy Talisman Tianzuan wanted to refine it, the height was less than 100,000 meters. Lin Moyu sensed it for a while, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Sure enough, we are here. After the ancient war, Holy Talisman Tianzuan came to the Divine City Star territory and entered several secret realms, including the Fingertip Ruins. Even after so many years, the aura of Holy Talisman Tianzuan still remains. Lin Moyu couldn't guess the purpose of Holy Talisman Tianzuan coming here. He definitely wouldn't come here for no reason. Tianzuan wouldn't be so boring. Everything Tianzuan does has a purpose. Based on the secret realm, although the Fingertip Ruins have a sufficient number of runes and are relatively dangerous, they are not so dangerous. It should be related to Holy Talisman Tianzuan. He probably did something after coming in, which greatly increased the danger of the ruins. But as the danger increases, he should also leave something behind. Lin Moyu relied on his understanding of the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord to infer that the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord is very particular about balance, just like runes. If he makes the ruins dangerous, he will definitely leave corresponding treasures to balance them. Danger and opportunity coexist. Maybe there will really be something to gain. Lin Moyu took one step forward and entered the Yuangu ruins. The fog rolled and the space began to distort. The ancient ruins that had been silent for many years once again welcomed a new guest. In the ancestral land of the demon clan, the three saints returned again. They put the tribesmen in battleships and brought them over, each with 100,000, for a total of 300,000. The soul-eating demon lord's voice was low, with a bit of unwillingness. "Lord Demon Lord, do we really want to leave?" The demon lord sat there, controlling the shriveled corpse. "Let's go, because the demons left fire. It won't be long before the human race is coming. Even if you are outside the territory, you may not be safe. The three of you will have to separate and go to different places. Maybe there will be opportunities in the future." The demon lord activated the altar, and blazing flames ignited on the altar. At the same time, majestic power rushed out of the altar and distorted the space. The altar is gathering strength to open a portal to the outside world. 3 balls of demon 1.4 fire appeared on the demon lord, and they flew into the hands of the 3 saints respectively. This is the original fire of the demon clan. Take it. As long as it is still there, the demon clan still has hope. We lost this battle, but we have won before. The luck of the human race will not always be so good. One day, we will have a chance. Let's go. Once outside the territory, spread out and wait for the opportunity. 10,000 years, 100,000 years, 1,000,000 years, don't be anxious. The portal above the altar finally opened, and the aura belonging to the outside world poured in. The soul-eating demon lord, the hell demon lord, and the lava demon lord all kowtowed to the demon lord and left with their clansmen. After they left, the door was closed, but the flames of the altar were not extinguished. The demon lord controlled the mummy and walked into the flames, murmuring, "Demon ancestor, please protect our clan from this disaster." The devil controlled the mummy, motionless in the flames. The flame seeped into the mummy's body, and the 1,000 corpses that had been dead for countless years began to appear alive. Lin Moyu looked at the ancient ruins. From a sensory point of view, they were not much different from the secret realm. The Eye of the Soul was opened, and the Eye of the Soul at the peak of the Holy Lord saw many runes. Countless runes are flying in every corner of the ruins. Unlike the secret realm that only evolved from one or half an ancient talisman, there are not too few ancient talismans in Yili, and many of them remain intact. The evolved world is more real and more dangerous. Lin Moyu knows everything he sees, and the saints who have been here can also see it. Seeing is one thing, deciphering is another. For so many years, no saint has unlocked the fingertip ruins, which is enough to show how difficult it is here. Lin Moyu stood motionless and looked at it carefully. He was looking for the rune veins. The runes flying all over the sky did not come out of thin air. They evolved from solid bodies. Follow these runes to find the location of the ancient talisman, which is the key to deciphering the ruins. After watching for a moment, Lin Moyu suddenly frowned and quickly took a few steps back. A ray of light fell from the sky and broke in place like a sword light. The earth was melted, and a bottomless hole suddenly appeared on the ground. This attack came silently. If he had reacted half a second too late, he would have been hit. Seeing this scene, Lin Yu raised his fist and punched the ground. Gray flames emerged from the fist, and golden light shone brightly in the flames. The immortal golden body is activated, and this punch is so powerful that even the other side will be injured. Boom! There was a soft sound, and Lin Moyu felt his fist hit the cotton. It was soft and uncomfortable. It seemed that his power had nowhere to vent, and then there was another soft sound, and Lin Moyu was shaken up. His power was actually rebounded by the earth, knocking him away together with him. Lin Moyu stopped in midair and looked at the place where the punch landed. A not-so-big hole appeared on the ground, about half a meter in diameter and no more than 10 centimeters deep. With his punch, even stars would be shattered on the spot, but here, it can only cause such negligible damage. This shows how powerful the Earth's defense is. Lin Moyu's eyes were thoughtful, and a seemingly insignificant punch could actually explain a lot of problems. The first is the light that attacked him before. Its penetrating power was extremely amazing, far exceeding that of his fist. If you are hit from the front, you will definitely be injured. Secondly, the defensive power of the earth is extremely amazing. The earth is the evolution of the ancient talisman and can also be regarded as a part of the ancient talisman warrior. It shows that the ancient talisman warriors in the past had terrifying defensive capabilities. In the blink of an eye, the mark left by Lin Moyu's punch had been repaired, and the ground was restored to its original state. The small holes penetrated by light are also rapidly recovering. Lin Moyu stood in midair and looked into the distance. The moment Rune launched his attack, he seemed to have found a clue. Suddenly, another light fell from the sky, and Lin Moyu caught a rune in an instant, and the formation was shining. He took advantage of the situation to avoid the attack, and his eyes were firmly fixed on the rune attacking him. This rune represents the law of starlight. No, it's not just the starlight law, it also incorporates the golden runes. The starlight law and the sharp gold law merge with each other to form a highly penetrating attack. There are countless such runes. In the sky, there are endless runes that are exactly the same, too numerous to count, and the entire world is covered by them. Lin Moyu did not panic, but was thinking about another question: but what are the conditions for them to launch an attack? After experiencing a lot of dungeons and secret realms, coupled with my own understanding of runes, I knew what the attack conditions were in the blink of an eye. That means you can't move on your own. I am an outsider and was locked when I first entered the ruins. As long as you don't move for a certain period of time, the rune will attack. Recalling the first two attacks, Silent Language determined that the time was 3 seconds. As long as there is no movement for more than 3 seconds, the attack will come. In 3 seconds, there was no time to find the rune veins and the correct path. Lin Moyu guessed that the original intention of such rules is to prevent you from easily finding the right path. And he can be sure that as time goes by, the frequency of attacks will become higher and higher, forcing you to keep moving and leaving no time to think. Let's use the old method. Lin Moyu didn't dwell on this problem. With a thought in his mind, a large number of skeleton gods appeared and flew in all directions quickly. He himself also started to move, choosing a direction at will. Anyway, we can't stop here. The skeleton god general has been flying in all directions. The skeleton god general in the other side realm is extremely fast, as if teleporting, and has disappeared from sight in the blink of an eye. The ruins are very large, with a diameter of more than 70 light years and a width of 10 light years. Such a large area must be divided into multiple areas. Even exploring the other side requires a lot of time. Lin Moyu thought in his mind and suddenly frowned. A skeleton god general encountered an attack. The attack was very strong and the skeleton god general could not stop it. Then, more and more skeleton gods were attacked from all directions. It seems that no matter which direction you go, you will be attacked. Lin Moyu took one step forward and quickly caught up with the skeleton god general. Light and shadow intertwined before his eyes, and countless runes shone in the air, shooting out a large number of beams of light. Each beam of light is extremely sharp and can easily penetrate the skeleton generals, piercing their bodies and breaking them into pieces. The skeleton god will die during the attack, then be resurrected, then continue to be attacked, and die again. No matter how many times the undead souls are resurrected, they will be exhausted quickly. The attack speed is too fast, and the skeleton god general cannot avoid it. Lin Moyu frowned. What's going on? With a thought in his heart, he put away the skeleton god general. In an instant, Rune also stopped attacking. Lin Moyu tried to fly forward. When he entered the area where the skeleton god was under 350 attacks, 2 runes suddenly glowed and 2 beams of light shot down silently. Lin Moyu sensed it immediately, avoided the attack, and continued forward. The runes in the sky continued to attack, and each time 2 runes attacked together, one more than when they first entered the ruins. After Lin Moyu tried it for a while, he retreated. I found that the attack will stop as soon as I leave a certain range. Sure enough, it is divided into multiple areas, and the number of people will also be distinguished. As the number increases, the number of runes participating in the attack will increase. This arrangement does not look like natural evolution. It should be the work of Holy Talisman Tianzuan. Lin Moyu can distinguish the difference between the natural evolution of ancient symbols and the deliberate arrangement. Holy Talisman Tianzuan came here and changed the evolution process of the ruins, making the ruins dangerous. In that case, let's see if your arrangement can stump me. With a smile on his lips, Lin Moyu stepped forward and disappeared without a trace. It is endless fun to fight against heaven, and it is even more fun to fight against people. Now, only Lin Moyu can feel the joy of fighting against Tianzuan. Millions of years separate the two. Tianzuan planned it, and Lin Moyu solved the puzzle to see who is more powerful. Lin Moyu traveled 200 million kilometers in one step. When he first came out, 2 runes had already lit up. The beam penetrated Lin Moyu, and Lin Moyu's body exploded into pieces and disappeared like smoke. Lin Moyu has left, and the beam attacks are only the afterimages left behind. Lin Moyu's every step is 200 million kilometers, an average of 1 step per second, and he always disappears before the rune's attack arrives. Take 50 steps and fly tens of billions of kilometers in one direction. The runes in the sky suddenly turned into 3 runes attacking together, and the attack speed also increased. Lin Moyu clearly sensed this change, and he also increased his speed. The teleportation speed becomes faster, but it still maintains extremely high accuracy, and the error every time will not exceed 10 meters. Lin Moyu looked calm and ignored the rune attacks. He looked calmly and said to himself, "Thank you also to Xuanqing Secret Realm. Without the mysterious Star Realm, the accuracy of teleportation would not be so high, and the frequency increase would not be so easy without using the power of time and space." If someone accidentally teleports into the rune pile, Lin Moyu doesn't know what bad things will happen. The runes in the sky gave Lin Moyu a sense of danger. It was better not to touch the ball if he could avoid it. Another tens of billions of kilometers, the attacking runes changed from 3 to 4, and the speed increased by 10% again. Lin Moyu also changed his frequency without any panic. The achievements in the mysterious realm play a huge role here. Every bit of progress will bear fruit one day. Lin Moyu thinks this sentence is right, and it is indeed true. Sometimes, a seemingly insignificant effort may be of great use in the future. There are more and more runes attacking, and the speed is getting faster and faster. Lin Moyu has discovered that every 10 billion kilometers, the number of attacking runes will increase by 1, and the attack frequency will increase by 10%. By the time he reached 50 billion kilometers, the number of runes involved in the attack had reached 6, and the attack speed had doubled from before. At this time, Lin Moyu's teleport frequency has reached once every 0.5 seconds, which is exactly double the previous rate of once every second. This is also his current limit speed. If he still wants to increase his speed, he must use the power of time and space. In the state of the power of time and space, 1 second can be used as 4 seconds, the frequency can be increased 4 times, and the distance of each teleportation can also be increased 4 times. He was still moving forward, and when he reached 60 billion kilometers, the number of runes involved in the attack increased again, and the frequency also increased. Finally exceeding the limit under normal conditions, Lin Moyu could only use the power of time and space. The laws of time and the laws of space merge with each other to form the power of time and space. His speed suddenly increased, each step reached 800 million kilometers, and he could take 4 steps in 1 second. Encapsulated by the power of time and space, Lin Moyu cannot actively increase the teleportation frequency, which is 3.2 billion kilometers per second, which is the current limit speed. Lin Moyu shuttled through the ruins at an astonishing speed, leaving behind afterimages. Rune attacks could only shatter the afterimages, but could not touch him at all. Lin Moyu didn't know how far he had traveled in an instant, it was already hard to count. The frequency of rune attacks in the sky is always accelerating, getting faster and faster, as if there is no end. The number of runes participating in the attack is also increasing rapidly, more and more. The beams of light began to interweave, forming a long net. Lin Moyu gradually realized that something was wrong. If this continued, the rune's attack would exceed his limit. Even the power of time and space is useless, he will be hit by the increasing runes. No, my solution is wrong. Lin Moyu realized that he was wrong. Holy Talisman Tianzuan changed the runes, and it was useless to dodge the attacks from the opposite runes. Through the laws of space, he felt that there seemed to be some problems with the space here, and it seemed to have no end. Lin Moyu stopped moving forward and began to retreat while thinking about other solutions. Soon, he retreated to the original place, and the runes stopped attacking. The first attempt ended in failure. There is no end to this area, and you cannot force your way through it with speed. Since speed is useless, let's try a strong attack. The skeleton god will appear again, flying into the sky and attacking the runes. The sword energy fell on the runes, and the runes exploded and were annihilated in the sword energy. The skeleton god general's attack seemed to trigger an attack signal. In an instant, countless runes lit up at the same time, and the light was directed towards the skeleton god general. I go! The tens of thousands of skeleton generals released were instantly beaten to ashes under the intensive attack, leaving not even a scrap left. The runes that were destroyed in the sky reappeared a few seconds later, still looking as usual. It really affects the whole body. I can't dodge, and I can't attack, so how do I solve it? What kind of puzzle has the Holy Talisman Tianzuan set up? Lin Moyu thought about the secret realms he had experienced before, as well as the inheritance tests left by the Holy Lord Tianzuan, looking for clues from them. A person's behavior pattern will not change much. The same situation must have something in common. Even if he is Tianzuan, the same is true. It has tested combat prowess, tested observation, and tested understanding. What will he do this time? Lin Moyu is 100% certain that the situation in front of him must be the arrangement of the Holy Talisman Tianzuan. Over the years, the saints must have tried all the methods that should be tried, but they all failed. I tried it myself, but it still didn't work. What is it? Lin Moyu dodges attacks every 3 seconds while thinking about the key to the problem. If the sky doesn't work, is the right way underground? Summon the skeleton god general and launch an attack on the ground. A gap was created on the ground by the sword energy. The gap was very shallow, half a meter at most. But then, an equally powerful sword energy bounced back to the skeleton god general, directly knocking the skeleton god general away. All attacks were returned intact. Lin Moyu saw it in his eyes, and it was exactly the same as hitting the ground with his fist. Suddenly, an idea flashed through his mind, and he thought of the possibility of breaking the situation. It looks like we need to borrow some help. The skeleton god will stand on the ground and attack the runes. Several runes in the sky were annihilated and collapsed in the sword energy, and then moved the whole body, and countless runes launched an attack on the skeleton god general. Dense beams of light fell from the sky and landed on the skeleton god general with incomparable accuracy. The skeleton god will die on the spot and be resurrected in the Phobi star. A huge hole was made in the ground by the beam. This time it was not a single beam of light, but thousands of beams of light that converged together and were shot from different angles. The diameter of the hole was more than 10 meters. Lin Moyu looked down from a high position and saw that the hole was bottomless, but it was recovering quickly. It seems that once is not enough, so let's continue. The skeleton god will rush directly into the pit and attack the runes from inside the pit. The runes in the sky were stimulated again, and they went crazy collectively, killing the generals to pieces. The pothole became bigger and deeper, and Lin Moyu sighed in his heart, "Brother, I'm sorry." He summoned the skeleton god general again and repeated the previous operation. I felt a little sorry for the skeleton god general in my heart. They were all comrades who fought alongside me, but now they died for me. Fortunately, they can all be resurrected and will not really die, but they also feel a little uncomfortable in their hearts. After rounds of attempts, the potholes became larger and larger, with the diameter expanding from the initial 10 meters to hundreds of meters. The depth is also getting deeper and deeper, so there seems to be no end to the creation. Lin Moyu firmly believed in his judgment and did not give up. Finally, after countless rounds of attempts, a bright light suddenly appeared under the earth. It's done. After the bright light appeared, the earth, which had been recovering, suddenly stopped. The runes in the sky became dim at the same time, no longer shining as before. The light under the earth was an ancient talisman. Lin Moyu fell down and looked at the ancient talisman. The ancient talisman is extremely complex. It can be seen that the level of this ancient talisman is very high and will not be lower than level 5. Even Fu Xingzuan can only draw 3rd-level ancient talismans at this time. If you want to draw a 4th-level ancient talisman, it will take a lot of time to draw one. Saint Hao has a 3rd-level ancient talisman in his hand, which he obtained from a ruins and has been used as his means of attack. Lin Moyu looked at the ancient talisman carefully and finally knew its identity. Like the Xuanqing ancient talisman obtained before, it is one of the 12 core runes of the ancient talisman warrior. At that time, Holy Talisman Tianzuan said that relying on the core ancient talisman, it was possible to recreate the ancient formation battle E. I didn't think too much about it at the time. After all, many materials have disappeared in this era, and it is almost impossible to create an ancient talisman warrior. But if all 12 core runes can be gathered together, or most of them can be gathered together, then it can be combined with the existing materials. It is impossible to create ancient rune warriors, but there is hope for weaker rune puppets. With ancient talismans of at least level 5 as the core, the combat power of the rune puppets has a chance to be on par with ordinary supreme beings. We are about to face the Dojie, and the combat power of the supreme realm is as good as one more. Now that he is in the other side realm, he has strong power of rules and can look directly at the ancient formation. 687 will no longer be like before, giving you a headache just looking at it, and making it difficult to remember. After reaching the other shore realm, he could not only look directly at the ancient talisman, he could draw the ancient talisman himself with just a little practice. After putting away the core ancient talisman, Lin Moyu used his soul to sense it and understood the function of this ancient formation. This ancient talisman is called the Venus Talisman, and its main function is to attack. Attacks are divided into active attacks and rebound enemy attacks. They are the weapons of the ancient talisman warrior. The Black Star Talisman focuses on transformation, and the Venus Talisman focuses on attack. Put the Venus Talisman into the treasure ship warehouse, the Venus Talisman disappeared, the earth suddenly collapsed, and the runes in the sky disappeared like smoke and dust. Lin Moyu saw a passage, which was not far above his head and appeared automatically after the runes disappeared. Actually, this level is not difficult. As long as you prepare some puppets from the other side realm, you can solve this level. It's just that no one would have thought that the key to breaking the situation is to use force. I won this round, I don't know what the next level will be. Lin Moyu was full of interest and felt a sense of accomplishment after unraveling the arrangement of the Holy Talisman. After all, it is Tianzuan. Being able to unlock Tianzuan's arrangements will naturally give you a different sense of accomplishment. Lin Moyu rushed into the passage and prepared for the second level. He didn't know how many levels Holy Talisman Tianzuan had arranged here, and what rewards he had given. But it is certain that dangers and opportunities coexist. The more dangerous it is, the higher the difficulty, and the better the rewards. The passage was dark. After flying for a long time, Lin Moyu estimated that he had flown at least hundreds of millions of kilometers and finally saw a bit of Liangshire. The bright light expanded rapidly in his sight, and Lin Moyu finally left the passage. Dark red light filled his vision, and before he could clearly see the situation in front of him, his soul sent a warning that danger was coming. Lin Moyu instinctively teleported away 1,000 meters, and a long and thin red line cut into pieces of his afterimage. A man in black was holding a bloody sword and was heading towards him. The speed is extremely fast, and he is in front of him in an instant. Lin Moyu's whole body exploded with gray flames, his immortal golden body was activated, and golden light spots appeared in the gray flames. He punched out and hit the opponent's sword directly. Boom! Lin Moyu was knocked away by the huge force, and a wound appeared on his body. The wound was not deep, the blood was locked and did not flow out, and it recovered in less than half a second. The opponent's long sword was shattered into pieces, and his whole person was blown away. In terms of strength, the two were evenly matched, and Lin Moyu did not take advantage. The other side of the Black Blood world? Lin Moyu frowned slightly. The man in black was obviously a strong man from the other side of the Black Blood world. Of course, he was not real, but evolved from ancient talismans. The physical strength of people in the Black Blood world is very strong, much stronger than that of cultivators in the Great World. Lin Moyu, who was both in the other shore realm, even achieved the immortal golden body without taking any advantage. The opponent's long sword also recovered, and Lin Moyu saw runes flowing on the long sword. What exactly is the Holy Talisman Heavenly Venerable going to do? Lin Moyu didn't know why Xingfu Tianzuan evolved into a person from the Black Blood world. At this time, the man in black raised his long sword, and the sword light glowed with dark red blood. Lin Moyu only felt that the energy and blood in his whole body were a little sluggish, and his movements became sluggish. An ability of a cultivator in the Black Blood realm immediately came to mind, which is to control qi and blood. He can affect other people's energy and blood, making their actions slower. The man in black affected Lin Moyu's blood and killed him like lightning again. Lin Moyu snorted coldly, his immortal golden body became dazzling, and he punched it like rain. He chose to go head-to-head with the man in black. So what if he doesn't have a weapon? He is in the other side realm and his immortal golden body is invincible. Wounds kept popping up on his fists, but they healed quickly. The man in black sword was interrupted again. Lin Moyu didn't give him a chance to recover and punched him as if he was going to beat him to pieces. In an instant, he received tens of thousands of punches, the space roared, and the ruins shook. Lin Moyu's fists hit the flesh, and his majestic powers seemed to destroy the ruins. The man in black was finally blown to pieces under Lin Moyu's violent attack, which turned into countless ruins and dissipated in the starry sky. Cool! Lin Moyu roared. It had been a long time since he felt so good. He thought about the small world where he transformed into a warrior, pretending to be another profession, and fighting with people with swords and guns. This feeling of fighting is very comfortable and worth remembering. It's a pity that after arriving in the big world, he rarely had the opportunity to fight in person. Take advantage of this rare opportunity to have a hearty fight and experience the pleasure of punching to the flesh again. After defeating the man in black, Lin Moyu began to examine the area. This area was dark in color, as the ground seemed to be covered with blood. The sky was covered with dark clouds, and red lightning flashed from time to time. You can't go to the sky, it's dangerous. Lin Moyu's first reaction was that he couldn't go into the clouds, it wasn't safe there. He trusts his intuition and it's not wrong. The ground shook, and a team flew from the distance, heading straight for him. This is a team of 12 people, all of whom are powerful men of the Black Blood world evolved from runes, and are all from the other side realm. 12 people. Lin Moyu remembers this number. During the ancient war, the practitioners of the Black Blood world liked to form teams with this number. Each team consists of 12 people, and they attack and kill the human race. Why does the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord evolve them? Lin Moyu knows that Xingfu Tianzuan will not do meaningless things. Since he has evolved into the other person, there must be a deep meaning. Facing the rushing team, Lin Moyu's heart moved and Wan Fei flew out. The white sword energy swept across, illuminated the earth, and swallowed them all in an instant. The team was swallowed by the sword energy, but not all the black-blooded people inside died. They were covered in blood and fought out of the sword energy. They are very strong, more powerful than divine generals. It's a pity that they are not one-on-one, and the skeleton god general will not be one-on-one with them. After a beating, the black-blooded man was quickly killed and turned into runes and disappeared. Lin Moyu's eyes shone slightly. I know what Holy Talisman Tianzuan is going to do. The human race has always believed in knowing oneself and the enemy, no matter which enemy it is. Therefore, the Holy Talisman Tianzuan has runes that simulate the practitioners of the Black Blood world, so that humans can know the fighting methods of the Black Blood people and respond accordingly. It's a pity that the development of things later was completely beyond the expectations of Holy Talisman Tianzuan. No one can enter the fingertip ruins, enter here, and see his layout. Later, the human race did not fight against the black-blooded people, but instead fought against the alien races from all sides. It can only be said that everything cannot be as expected. Even Tianzuan cannot predict everything. Now that hundreds of tribes have been pacified, the black-blooded people are already struggling to survive. What's the use of staying here anymore? So, Holy Talisman Tianzuan knows that the Black Blood world has not been wiped out yet. At least he knows that there are black-blooded people hiding in the big world. But as a heavenly lord, with the ability to arrange these, why not completely eradicate the Black Blood world? Lin Moyu couldn't understand what Saint Fu Tianzuan was thinking for a while. If he was in a hurry to leave, why did he bother to come here and arrange it? Just leave. Why are you leaving so many things? You won't come back anyway. The life and death of the world has nothing to do with you. Lin Moyu murmured to himself, with disdain rising in his heart. He didn't appreciate these arrangements of the Holy Talisman Tianzuan. Just as he said, the gods have already left, and it is meaningless to leave these arrangements behind. Is it possible that he still thinks about the people who come after him, who will praise the name of the Heavenly Lord and praise them for their virtues from generation to generation? Beautiful thought. The skeleton army was dispatched again, flying in all directions to explore this area. Unlike the previous rune world, it was discovered quickly. The skeleton god generals encountered teams from the Black Blood world, and the two sides immediately started fighting. There are quite a few teams in the Black Blood realm, with 12 people in a team constantly wandering here. They will attack all outsiders, no matter who you are. The skeleton gods fought all the way, constantly expanding their scope. The whole process gave Lin Moyu a weird feeling, as if he was really fighting people from the Black Blood world, as if the battle in ancient times was starting to happen again. The territory belonging to Lin Moyu is getting bigger and bigger, and finally he sees something else. It was a fortress. When he saw the fortress, Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly. The God of War Fortress is not the real God of War Fortress, but also evolved from runes. The fortress of the God of War is fighting, and he is fighting against the planet. The planet was completely dark, and it had obviously been transformed from an ordinary planet into a battle star. Battlestar and Ares Bastion were equally matched. This is the war weapon of the Black Blood world. There are not only cultivators in the Black Blood world, they also have war weapons, the strongest of which is the Battlestar. At the peak of the war between the two races, the Black Blood realm dispatched war stars comparable to the Supreme, and the human race also had a fortress comparable to the Supreme God of War at that time. It is much more powerful than the God of War fortress owned by the human race today. In ancient times, the God of War fortress may not have been called the God of War fortress, and the name at that time has been lost in the long river of history. The fight between the two sides was fierce, and they refused to give in to each other. In the distance, the strong men of the human race formed a battle formation and were fighting fiercely with the people of the Black Blood realm. All of this is evolved from runes. Lin Moyu watched as a third party. He was able to see the various fighting methods of the Black Blood world and thus became familiar with them. These were all arranged by Holy Talisman Tianzuan. Tianzuan wanted to use this method to let human beings become familiar with the world of Black Blood. When facing the world of Black Blood, you won't be in a hurry. But unfortunately, his arrangements were of no use. It can also be seen from this that there is a gap between the Holy Talisman Tianzuan and the Mysterious Master, and their calculations for the future are completely different. Lin Moyu looked at it for a while and already understood it very well and didn't want to waste any more time. 100,000 skeleton gods will appear in the sky, rolling away with a crushing force, quickly defeating the army of the Black Blood realm. Without an opponent, the human armies evolved from the runes launched attacks on the battle stars one after another. The skeleton god general also launched an attack on the battle star. Everyone is rune evolution, and the two sides were originally evenly matched. The addition of Lin Moyu broke the balance. The battle star was defeated quickly. Just 10 minutes later, the powerful battle star was broken into pieces and exploded in the air. The gate of the God of War fortress opened, and the human army returned to the God of War fortress. The fortress of the God of War stopped in the air, emitting a faint light and motionless. It shoots out a stream of light, like a beacon guiding Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu understood it and stood on top of the God of War in a flash. The fortress of the God of War flew up with a roar and rushed towards the distance. The God of War fortress is very fast, constantly traveling through space, faster than Lin Moyu can use the power of time and space. This speed has surpassed that of the Holy Lord and is half a step ahead of the Supreme Lord. Although I disdain the arrangement of Holy Talisman Tianzuan in my heart, I have to admire Holy Talisman Tianzuan at the same time. There is no one else but him who can play runes to this level. The God of War fortress flew for a moment and suddenly slowed down and stopped. The gate opened with a bang, and the human army rushed out of the fortress. A battle star appears in front, as well as the Black Blood Realm army, and a brand new battle begins. Lin Moyu directly used the undead army to crush them. He already understood that Holy Talisman Tianzuan used runes in this area to simulate the war with the Black Blood Realm. What he has to do is much simpler, just help the human race defeat the Black Blood world. After understanding the intention of Holy Talisman Tianzuan, things became simple. An army of 1 billion undead flew out, divided into 100 teams with 1 million in each group, flew in all directions, and began to sweep away. The undead army quickly encountered each battlefield and quickly cleaned up the Black Blood army inside. Within a month, War God Fortress took Lin Moyu to fight on the Japanese battlefield. The army of the undead also continued to sweep the battlefields from all sides within a month. As a result, efficiency skyrocketed. Finally, a month later, Lin Moyu saw other God of War fortresses. Hundreds of Ares fortresses gathered together to form a terrifying army, marching forward. Lin Moyu knew that the final battle was coming, and he became the leader of this war. A battle star emitting gray-white light appeared in sight, and just by looking at it, Lin Moyu had the illusion that his body was about to be torn apart. This battle star is unusual. Lin Moyu immediately thought of a special kind of star in the big world called a neutron star. Planets, stars, white stars, neutron stars, black holes. This is the basic division of planets in the big world. After his magic was sublimated from a star, he became a white star. If the white star sublimates again, it may become a neutron star or even a black hole. Neutron stars are quite terrifying, and they exist in very few numbers in the big world. Unexpectedly, the Black Blood Heaven Realm transformed the neutron star into a battle star. Although it evolved from runes, it also shows that in ancient times, the neutron battle star really existed. The war was about to break out, and countless human armies flew out to kill the battle star. The Black Blood army also flew out of the battle star and fought with the human army. The scale of this battle was grand, more grand than the war between the alliances of hundreds of tribes. Every warrior here is from the other side, and there are millions of them. The battle spread to a boundless area, causing the ruins to vibrate. Not only the army is fighting, the God of War Fortress is also launching a fierce attack on the battle star. Kill! Lin Moyu shouted, and the undead army launched a full-scale attack. The eyes of the soul gaze upon the neutron battle star. The neutron battle star is covered with ancient talismans. From the inside to the outside, there are more than one ancient talisman. Lin Moyu realized how powerful the neutron battle star was. Even with the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord's method, he needed several ancient talismans to evolve the neutron battle star, which shows how powerful it is. The current strength displayed by the neutron battlestar is not slightly stronger than that of the Holy Lord. Fortunately, the God of War Fortress formed a battle formation and united with each other to build a powerful battle force network, which was enough to compete with the neutron warstar. Originally, this war would not break out. Both sides were evenly matched. It has evolved over countless years and has become a law, and there will be no successor. It can be said that the plot is always at the beginning, and it does not continue. Until the appearance of Lin Moyu broke the balance and the plot began to develop. In this fictional war, the human race began to win, advancing step by step, and defeated the Black Blood world. Lin Moyu plays various roles such as leader, hero, and Commander 760, leading the human race to fight. Lin Moyu led the undead army, and together with the human army, quickly defeated the Black Blood world. Now that the final war has broken out, the neutron battlestar is right in front of us. As long as we defeat him, we can break this situation. There are no puzzles in this game. It requires almost no thinking, only battle experience. One force can defeat 10. In the face of real strength, the role of strategy will be greatly weakened. Holy Talisman Tianzuan wants to tell me this truth. It's really strange. Holy Talisman Tianzuan doesn't seem like someone who would do such a thing. If he was really so responsible, he wouldn't leave. Lin Moyu said to himself, he had been in contact with Holy Talisman Tianzuan the most, and he had some understanding of Holy Talisman Tianzuan's personality. Shengfu Tianzuan has an eccentric temper and is elusive, and he has never made Lin Moyu feel any sense of responsibility. It can be said that those Tianzuan who left thought more about themselves than the big world. It can be seen from this that Holy Talisman Tianzuan will not bother to arrange these things. This is what Lin Moyu can't figure out. The undead army crushed the Black Blood army. In less than half a day, the Black Blood army had been cleared and began to besiege the electronic warfare star. The neutron battlestar is very strong. It does not have any formation barriers. It can block all attacks based on its own strength alone. Whether it is a skeleton god general, a human warrior, or the God of War Fortress, all attacks falling on it have no effect. It is like a big lump that cannot be broken, remaining unmoved by countless attacks. This defense, if calculated based on the physical body, has already reached the supreme level. The neutron battlestar evolved from the ancient talisman is so strong. If it were in ancient times, the real neutron battlestar would only be stronger. Facing the siege, Yuzi Zhanqing fought back wildly. It evolved into countless bloody swords and cut them down with one sword. The God of War's fortress was linked together and formed a formation to block the attack. The two sides are in a deadlock, forming a delicate balance, and no one can do anything about the other. Lin Moyu knows that he can only rely on himself to break the current situation. This is also the key to breaking the game. If you can't do it yourself, you won't be able to pass this level. Lin Moyu chose the simplest and crudest method. With a tap of his finger, the immortal flames exploded like fireworks. A raging flame suddenly ignited in the starry sky, reflecting the sky and the earth in gray, dyeing the entire world gray. The exquisite and majestic skeleton throne emerged from the flames, with skeleton kings sitting on it. The skeleton king wears exquisite armor, his cape rustles, and the skeleton thrones turn into two-handed bone swords. A total of 25 skeleton kings exuded the aura of the Saint Realm. Above their heads, 25 law galaxies emerged at the same time. The law galaxies were white-capped and roiling with the waves. Following Lin Moyu's thoughts, King Skull drew his sword at the same time. Spell, Kill God. The God Janayang sword fell on the neutron battlestar, and the neutron battlestar's light suddenly shone several times brighter than usual. The slowly rotating neutron battlestar suddenly stopped on the spot and even stopped attacking. Lin Moyu saw debris flying out of it. It finally had some effect, but that was all. After a few seconds of pause, the neutron battlestar resumed its original state and continued to attack. 25 skeleton kings, all attacking at the same time, would kill or injure even Zune. Faced with such an attack, the Neutron War Star only scratched the surface. His strength is far beyond Lin Moyu's imagination. The Neutron Battlestar transformed from the ancient talisman had no soul, and the rules of the bones did not work, which weakened the Skeleton King's attack to a certain extent. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and 2,500 drops of colorful water flew out, and were evenly distributed to the Skeleton King, 100 drops for each statue. At the same time, 250,000 copies of the Power of Faith burned at the same time, and were equally divided among the Skeleton King. Over the years, Lin Moyu has accumulated a massive amount of faith, so much that even he can't count it. He only knows that the power of faith that can be increased every day is as much as 10,000. There are 10,000 drops of colorful water in the well of ancestral water, and 1 drop of colorful water can be produced every 10 days. Lin Moyu will take out the excess colorful water regularly and collect it, and use it directly when needed. With the blessing of colorful water and the power of faith, the Skeleton King's combat power has been greatly improved. It wasn't over yet. Lin Moyu gave a low shout, and the power of the source was rolling. Original magic, strong soldiers. The damage caused by the undead army instantly increased tenfold, and this was the Skeleton King's strongest posture. The 25 Skeleton Kings waved their swords again, and the sword light was several times brighter than before, lighting up on the Neutron Battlestar. Lin Moyu seemed to see countless phantoms of skeletons appearing on the Neutron Battlestar at the same time, swinging his sword and slashing them down. The Neutron Warstar stopped rotating again, more Suiyon flew out. With an increase of dozens of times, Skeleton King's attack caused more damage to the Neutron Battlestar, but it was still only a superficial injury and of no great use. It's really sturdy. Lin Moyu sighed in his heart, and with a thought, the Skeleton King was lying in the battle zone with his ministers at the same time. If the spell doesn't work, just use the Bone Sword to cut. The Bone Sword is extremely strong, not inferior to the blood-colored long sword of the Black Blood Great Realm Saint, and comparable to the talisman sword made by Tianzuan. The Bone Sword fell on the Neutron Battlestar and roared. Each sword can cut some debris on the Neutron Battlestar. Judging from this speed, the Neutron Battlestar cannot be destroyed without hundreds of years of non-stop slashing. The Neutron Battlestar continuously counterattacked while spinning. It evolved into a bloody sword and slashed the Skeleton King away, making it difficult for the Skeleton King to attack with all his strength. Skeleton King also failed. Lin Moyu sighed. Conventional methods had lost their effect. The Neutron 4.1 Battlestar is indeed like an iron lump that cannot be attacked. Even in ancient times, it caused a headache for the human race. Lin Moyu's eyes revealed his thoughts. Either we must use strong enough combat power to destroy it, or we must find another way to disintegrate its defense. Now that conventional methods are ineffective, Lin Moyu is thinking of other methods. The fire of the burning world is useless. The fire of the burning world refines the world and targets the soul. It will not do much harm to the Neutron Battlestar. The scepter of natural disaster should work, but this is the ultimate trump card. Lin Moyu doesn't really want to use the natural disaster scepter unless there is no other way. After thinking for a moment, Lin Moyu thought of a way. Try it, it might work. He murmured to himself, and the 4 law galaxies emerged at the same time. The 2 laws of time and space surged and merged into the power of time and space, overwhelmingly crushing towards the Neutron Battlestar. Lin Moyu has seen the power of time and space used to kill people, but never used it. Those gods outside the small world were silently obliterated by the power of time and space, and he himself almost died from the power of time and space. The power of time and space is so powerful that you can imagine that the soul is separated from the body and placed in different time and space, and you don't know how you died. Neutron Battlestar has no soul, but it has a body. It itself evolved from multiple ancient symbols and was not a real Neutron Battlestar. If it were a real Neutron Battlestar, maybe I would be helpless, but it's an ancient talisman. Lin Moyu regarded the ancient talisman as his soul, and the power of time and space enveloped the Neutron Warstar and penetrated into his ministers silently. The power of time and space is ethereal, and no matter how strong the defense is, it is difficult to withstand it. The power of time and space finally enveloped each ancient talisman, and then the power of time and space became violently turbulent. Each ancient talisman suddenly entered a different time and space, and their time flow rates all changed, becoming extremely chaotic. Originally, the ancient talismans were connected together through some method and formed a whole. Now they each enter different time and space, and the connection between them is also disconnected. The neutron battlestar stopped instantly, no longer attacking or turning. Without the ancient talisman, its defense was almost destroyed in an instant. The undead legions and human warriors attacked it nonstop, causing huge damage to it. Debris flew randomly, and a large number of craters appeared on the neutron battlestar, which was made uneven. Efficient. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the law of immortality came into effect. As the law of destiny, part of it has been converted into the power of rules, and its power has been greatly increased. The power of death crashed into the neutron battlestar like a wave, and then poured into the ancient talisman, directly beginning to corrode the ancient talisman. The power of death corrodes everything, from the invisible soul to the tangible matter. Ancient talismans will also be corroded. If these ancient talismans are still connected to each other and take care of each other, the power of death will not play much role. But now, they are working independently and cannot stop the erosion of the power of death. Soon, the ancient talisman became incomplete, then exploded with a bang and disappeared into smoke and dust. The moment the ancient talisman broke, a large piece of the neutron battlestar also broke into pieces. More and more ancient talismans were corroded by the power of death, and the war stars of the ministers shattered piece by piece. In the blink of an eye, the originally round neutron battlestar had become grotesque. Just a few minutes later, the neutron battlestar completely collapsed. Done. Lin Moyu exhaled, using the power of time and space to kill for the first time, and the effect was very good. He knew very well that if the power of time and space were used to deal with the living Holy Lord, the effect might not be that good. The Holy Lord is a living creature and will not just stand there and let you kill him. The effect on dealing with such dead things is amazing. At the moment when the neutron battlestar collapsed, the god of War Fortress and the human warriors stopped at the same time. The gate of Ares Fortress begins, and the human warriors return to Ares Fortress at the same time. Hundreds of God of War fortresses bloomed at the same time, and the light connected into one, illuminating the celebration site. The light became stronger and stronger, bursting out with powerful force and pushing Lin Moyu away. Lin Moyu looked at the ball of light reflecting the sky and the earth. We have passed the test, it's time to give the reward. The setting of Holy Talisman Tianzuan has always been like this. As long as you pass the level, you will be rewarded. He is very particular about balance. In the light, Lin Moyu felt the strong aura of the ancient talisman. It was not an ordinary ancient talisman, but at least an ancient talisman of level 4 or above. Lin Moyu's heart moved. Could it be? He guessed what the reward would be. Until all the light converged and disappeared, 3 ancient talismans came into view. The 3 ancient talismans exude a powerful aura, and their surfaces are radiant. They are all 5th level ancient talismans. Sure enough, they are core runes. I give them 3 at a time. What a great craftsman. Lin Moyu chuckled and put away all 3 core ancient talismans. With such a high level of difficulty, even all the saints in the human race can't do anything about it. Even if the Star Elder Emperor comes, he will definitely be able to deal with the battle star. The reward includes 3 core runes, which is actually not too much. 5 of the 12 core ancient talismans needed to refine the ancient talisman warriors have now been obtained, and the final 7 are still missing. Lin Moyu had to doubt that the last 7 core ancient talismans were in the traces at his fingertips. After thinking about it, the possibility is extremely high. A whirlpool appeared in the sky, and Lin Moyu soared into the sky and plunged into the whirlpool. After he left, this space collapsed on the spot, and everything was erased. It's as if the task has been completed and there is no need to exist anymore. The whirlpool gave Lin Moyu a feeling similar to that of a secret realm, and at the same time, it was somewhat similar to a copy in the small world. He experienced a teleportation in the vortex, and when his sight returned, he had entered another space. What kind of game is it this time? Puzzle solving, fighting, or both? After the manipulation of the holy talisman Tianzuan, the evolution of the ancient cards can no longer be inferred by common sense. It depends on what holy talisman Tianzuan thinks. In fact, this is not a bad thing. No matter how holy talisman Tianzuan does it, there are traces to be found, as long as you follow its thinking. Lin Moyu looked at this space. The sun was shining brightly, and a warm sun hung in the sky. But the strange thing is that there is a full moon hanging in the sky on the other side. The sun and the moon shine together. This kind of scene is rare. In the big world, not every galaxy has such a thing as a moon. Many galaxies have no moon but 2 stars. On the contrary, in the small world of the past, there were sun and moon. This was also the environment Lin Moyu was most accustomed to. Lin Moyu looked at the warm sun and felt the warmth and comfort of the sunshine. But his eyes narrowed slightly. Who is spying on me? His extremely keen soul told him that someone was secretly watching him. From the moment I enter this space, the feeling of being watched has always been there. But he couldn't find out who was spying on him or where he came from. Lin Moyu didn't worry too much about being monitored. Since he couldn't find the other party, he just ignored it. 9 times out of 10, it's the holy talisman Heavenly Lord. Thinking in his heart, Lin Moyu walked forward. This world 963 is not desolate. There are mountains and moons, and there is a road under his feet. At the end of the avenue, he faintly saw 10 cities. The city is located between 2 high mountains and is surrounded by clouds and mist, so it is not really visible in the haze. But Lin Moyu could feel that this city was very majestic, even more majestic than the human cities in reality. Lin Moyu walked along the avenue, and he found that his space laws were restricted and he could not go too fast. It is impossible to achieve hundreds of millions of kilometers in one step. Without using the law of time, each step is only about 100 meters. The space has changed. Lin Moyu tried to adapt to the space, but found that he could not adapt. The space here is extremely special, like ocean waves, constantly surging and changing. No surge was the same, and he couldn't get used to it. The change in space also limits his speed. He can fly, but the flying height and speed are less than 1/10,000th of the usual. There is no choice but to move forward. The avenue is very quiet. There are no pedestrians. There is nothing but the road. The city looks very close, but is actually very far away. During the walk, the entire space became quiet, and even the sound of the wind disappeared. There is no night in the world here. Day and night change, only between light and dark. When the warm sun becomes dim and the full moon becomes bright, it means night is coming. In the alternation of light and darkness between day and night, Lin Moyu has gone through the past. The sound of wind reached my ears, and the city in my sight finally changed. The first changes occurred on both sides of the road. I don't know when, green trees appeared on both sides of the road. The green trees block the sunlight, and the sunlight falls through the gaps in the leaves, forming beams of light, which is extremely beautiful. Lin Moyu instinctively opened his soul eyes and discovered to his surprise that there were no runes on these trees. How so? Everything in the ruins evolved from runes, and the eyes of the soul can see the truth and see the runes. But now, the runes are gone, and everything has become extremely real. Lin Moyu even doubted whether he had come to the real world. The city in the distance, hidden in the clouds and mist of the mountains, finally showed its majestic appearance. It was an unimaginably majestic city. The wall alone was 10,000 meters high, towering into the clouds with no end in sight. On the city wall, a line of light and shadow is projected into the sky, reflecting 3 universities, Mingfu City. Lin Moyu stood where he was and could see figures walking around on the city wall. Even in the sky above the city, there were people standing in the sky. These people wear robes and look like immortals. Please give way. A shout suddenly came from his ears. Lin Moyu turned around and saw a team coming from behind. Instinctively, he stepped aside to let the team pass. The team was led by a carriage. The carriage was very large, driven by 8 horses, and occupied half of the road. These horses are no ordinary horses. Each one is 10 meters tall, with flames burning under their feet. Starry Sky Beast. Lin Moyu recognized at a glance that these 8 horses were giant beasts in the starry sky. The aura they exude is at least the other side realm. The starry sky beast in the other side realm is used as a towing tool, which is a big deal. Behind the carriage was a team of about 100 people. They wear uniform clothes, all colored robes, and the robes also revealed the appearance of civil servants. Mingfu Academy. Academy? This word is rarely seen anymore, but in ancient times, there were many academies. Lin Moyu has read relevant information. In ancient times, the academy was like a sect, a learning and cultivation institution established by the human race. Watching them pass by and gradually disappear, Lin Moyu was slightly shocked. Could it be that this is a city from ancient times? Involuntarily, I had a strong feeling for the city in my heart. He also wanted to see what the ancient city looked like. But before that, Lin Moyu still opened the undead vision. The eye of the soul can see reality, and the sight of the undead can see the soul. With the cooperation of the two, there won't be many things in the world that can be hidden from him. Under Death Hair's field of vision, soul fires were dancing. Sure enough, they are not ordinary creatures. Although there are soul flames and they look like real creatures, Lin Moyu can still recognize at a glance that these soul flames are just evolved from runes. Although the runes cannot be seen with the eyes of the soul, with these soul flames, Lin Moyu can be sure that this is indeed a world evolved by runes. Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord is indeed a Heavenly Lord. He can already confuse the fake with the real. Lin Moyu sighed. If he didn't have the eyes of the soul, even he wouldn't be able to tell the difference between true and false. Lin Moyu followed the team. The team moved very fast, quickly distanced themselves from Lin Moyu, and disappeared from sight. Lin Moyu doesn't chase after him either. Others go their own way, and he goes his own way. As we get closer and closer to the city, the avenue becomes lively. Pedestrians appeared from nowhere and headed towards the city together. They kept discussing some things in their mouths, their voices were loud, and they had no intention of hiding anything. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised when he heard it. What they were discussing turned out to be runes, and these people were all runes. In ancient times, runes were very popular, and many practitioners would learn runes. The runes were very bright at that time, and Holy Talisman Tianzuan was the leader of the rune path at that time, the undisputed first person. This is an evolving world, and everything that happens may be the key to breaking the situation. Lin Moyu listened carefully and did not miss any details. Gradually, he understood something. Mingfu City is a city for cultivating runes, and there are a large number of talisman masters in the city. Among them, Mingfu Academy is the well-deserved number 1 in Mingfu City, with the most talented talisman masters gathered in it. Among them, the master of the Mingfu Academy is a talisman master who has reached the supreme realm. This time, Mingfu Academy held a rune competition in the city, and the winner could get an ancient talisman. This ancient talisman is said to be from the hands of the Holy Talisman Tianzuan. It is a 5th-level ancient formation that has been eternally solidified. When Lin Moyu heard this, he immediately realized the identity of this ancient talisman and knew what he was going to do. This ancient talisman should be one of the 12 core ancient talismans. He is going to participate in the rune competition, win, and obtain the core runes. This is the level set by Holy Talisman Tianzuan, and winning is the way to break the situation. There was no understanding of the mystery, no fighting, just starting to compete for runes. Senior Tianzuan, what exactly are you trying to do? You've put so much thought into it. Lin Moyu whispered to himself. He knew that it would not be easy for even the Holy Lord to evolve such a world. Holy Talisman Tianzuan must have put a lot of effort into arranging all this. What exactly is he going to do with so much trouble? From what he had done in the secret realm, it was too delicate and inconsistent with the behavior of Saint Tianzuan. At this point, Lin Moyu has no other choice but to take one step at a time. Following the crowd, Lin Moyu entered the city. There were many people along the way, but no one paid any attention to Lin Moyu, which was very abnormal. Lin Moyu's clothes are obviously different from others, and they are not from the same era at all. If he were a normal person, he would definitely come over and ask out of curiosity. But now there is none. Lin Moyu felt yesterday. This is also the detail that Xingfu Tianzuan did not do well. It is necessary to evolve the real world, but some details were not noticed. He had always known that the Holy Talisman Tianzuan actually wanted to use runes to evolve real life, so as to pry into the secrets of the Taoist Lord. It's a pity that Holy Talisman Tianzuan never succeeded. Now it seems that Holy Talisman Tianzuan is far behind in details. It is difficult to evolve real life, and Tianzuan's creation of a race is not something out of nothing, but a fusion of existing life. The two are very different and cannot be compared. After walking for several more days and nights, the city was finally within easy reach. The nearly 10,000-meter-long gate was completely open, and a terrifying aura came from the city. There are countless powerful people in it, including the other side, the saints, and even the supreme ones. Lin Moyu entered the city with curiosity and knocked on the buildings in the city. Is this the city from ancient times? There are tall buildings in the city, and there are many thousands of meters high buildings. The building is very tall and has only 9 floors. The talisman array is almost connected into a piece, countless. Occasionally, there is a majestic aura coming out of the building, and there are strong people in the building. Go to the other side of the world. Is this the ancient times? Is it really prosperous? Lin Moyu couldn't help but secretly sigh in his heart. The other shore realm can be found everywhere here, and the holy realm can also be seen everywhere. There are too many to count. If this was the case in ancient times, then in this era, we are really too pitiful and weak. The entire human race tied together can't compare to a city in ancient times. The gap is too huge. Along the road, Lin Moyu came to the gate of Mingfu Academy. At this time, countless people are signing up to participate in the rune competition, and everyone must pass the test according to the rules before they can officially become participants. Lin Moyu followed the crowd and also signed up.